Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about AVAX. So let's take a look at the AVAX chart. I'd like to show you what I said about AVAX on the 30th of May. I have done update videos since then, but I think sometimes it's good to look, a week back, 2 weeks, 3 weeks back to understand where we started from and to understand how well the Elliott wave method can help us understand future price moves. So the wave 4 probably finished here at around $32 and we moved down here how I see it currently in a wave 1, and we are now moving up in a wave 2. That is how I see it. This wave 2, so if I count this, we can count this as a wave 1, this is wave 2. We would then expect a wave 3 down, a wave 4 up, and a wave 5 down. That is for me currently the sort of the most likely scenario. Now that can change should we move above the 32.95 level, because that would invalidate this wave 2. We would come up too high. But this wave 2 also doesn't have a lot of structure at the moment, so there will probably be a bit of an up and down. A, B, C would be expected. Yeah, so we should soon move down actually if we want to have a bit of a structure here in this chart. But overall, also for AVAX, I don't think the low is in yet. Technically it could be, as I mentioned before, for many other cryptocurrencies, since AVAX has corrected down so much based on... Okay, I don't want to make that too long, but message was clear. Lower levels expected as primary scenario, and we were at $27. Well, where are we today? At $21.16. This, what I showed you back then, did work out in the end. We started to move down here in a wave 1. We moved up in a wave 2. We then possibly moved down in a wave 1 again, in another wave 2 up. And we might now be in that wave 3 here. So this is currently how I do see it based on the view that we made here, lower highs. So yeah, this is all going according to plan, and we also broke out of this sort of triangle within this descending wedge. We talked about that as well, that this is a trend continuation pattern, such a triangle. I mean, you have here a trend continuation pattern within a rather bullish pattern, so you would consider a descending wedge rather bullish. But overall, we cannot get around the fact that we are making here lower lows, lower highs, and that already on the, I think it was the 27th of May, AVAX, compared to some other cryptos, or to most other cryptos that I cover, made actually already a lower low compared to the low from the 12th of May. So it just indicates the extreme weakness in this chart, and I talked about that as well. Now AVAX has even dropped further out, or even moved further away from that target area here. This was sort of the last hope target area for AVAX, between the 78.6% FIB level and the 88.7% FIB level, between $25.68 and $40. Well, it has moved even further lower than the 88.7% FIB level, and that is not a good sign, but I made you aware of the risk in previous videos. I generally talked about the risk that we can see here on the AVAX chart, the extreme weakness, and also that the chart picture looks extremely messy. I mean, this only really is understandable when you compare different chart pictures with each other, and if you know how to read a chart and if you understand the Elliott wave method, because this whole chart picture, I mean, you can do it with a bullish wave count, which I have done here, which assumes that we made a wave 1 and a wave 2 here. Wave 2 came down in July 21, and then we moved up in another wave 1 in a leading diagonal, in an ascending broadening wedge, and that we're now coming down in a wave 2. This is sort of the bullish count, but that bullish count presumes or assumes that we have to move up now. We have to turn around and move up, and we have to move up strongly, and we have to move above $103.81 as well. Otherwise, we still have a lot of downside potential. The problem is that this chart can be read corrective as well. And this is not possible with every chart, but you can do it fairly easily with the AVAX chart, where you can count this as an A, B, C, and that means we are now coming down in an impulse, and coming down below that below that impulse, down in an impulse would mean that we have to actually get below the starting point on this chart, which would be, well, in the worst case, actually below 92 cents. So keep it in mind if we get there that I warned you. I'm not telling you it definitely has to happen because my primary expectation is the bullish scenario. I don't want AVAX to die or anything, absolutely not. But just be aware of the risk, okay? And that is why I currently don't touch AVAX. It is just an extremely dangerous chart, in my opinion. But I did warn you before, and since then we have dropped significantly again from I think $27 to $21, and of course that was not the first video I made about AVAX. In fact, I told you when we moved below $53, you know, as soon as we move below that dollar level, we will see significant downside for AVAX, which also happened. However, until we moved below that level, I had a bullish scenario on the chart because I assumed, well, I'm generally an optimist. I assumed we would go up from here. It had a good chance to do it, but I acknowledge the fact nothing is guaranteed. So below $53, that was invalidated. And yeah, we had a massive downward move below $53. So yeah, ideally AVAX turns around now. If it moves down any lower, really the absolute last level from where it needs to start to move up is $9.64. If it doesn't do that, I do expect very strongly a below $1 AVAX. The chart picture just, you know, you can just count it very easily corrective, and you can count very easily this move down impulsive, which is not the case with every chart, and that is just not a good sign. And that means that if you have a fundamental event which is fairly strong, like for example with Terra Luna, which had a very, very similar chart, like with Terra Luna, when you have a fundamental event that meets a chart like that, it can smash the coin, it can destroy it, right? And this is just something we need to be aware of. And looking at the indicators as well, we still have that short signal on the daily ADX. Yeah, it's even, you know, those lines are broadening away from each other even more, so that is bearish as well. We do have now a bullish divergence on the daily RSI. Now that doesn't mean it needs to go up tomorrow, but it's a first potential reversal sign, and that is also why I do have a bullish wave count on the chart. Nevertheless, I want to highlight the risk here, which I do very clearly for AVAX, more clear than for other coins. And then here MACD losing bullish momentum, however. So, I mean, we see a bullish divergence on the RSI, but it is only one indicator. It is only one indicator, and it can indicate that we are going to start to move up from here. You often see a bullish divergence when you see a descending wedge, and in the end it just means that the downtrend is slowing down, but it could very well break out to the downside here. So don't be too optimistic about that. And yeah, I mean, it even made a lower low, so that is definitely not a good sign. I mean, we can expect some support here when it hits the support level of the descending wedge. And I would say now that we moved below the previous swing low, we can expect it to go down to $20. Now, if we lose the $20 level, say hello to $10. Yeah, I think we have to, because if we add the VPVR to this chart that shows us historical volume, what is there? Well, okay, there is a black hole below, and then, okay, around $12.20, there should be one more major support level here. That's a spike on the VPVR, quite a significant one, so expect some support there. But yeah, we are heading lower, and it's currently going all in line with my primary expectation. Okay, so hopefully you liked an update about AVAX. If you did like this update, then please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.